After falling down, Hajin then felt annoyed. This was truly a rough start, but, unexpectedly, Nayun and Rachel were there too. They looked very happy when they saw him, but they seemed to have just fallen like him, judging by their expressions. They seemed to have just noticed each other's presence. Rachel and Nayun then quickly distanced themselves from each other upon realizing this, seeing that the three of them were here. Nayun wondered if they were a team. Rachel thought the same. She was curious if there was anyone else nearby. As for Hajin himself, he inwardly complained, of all people, why did he have to be with them? Nayun was confused about how the team selection worked. She wondered if their team was randomized, but Rachel then realized something and asked them, did you also shoot at the direction the arrows came from? I noticed it while falling. That crossbow was white. Hearing that, Nayun then remembered the 3 commandments that appeared shortly after the exam started. But even though she had concluded many things, Nayun was still confused about the purpose of that information. Rachel shyly said she was just discussing it. Hajin himself didn't join their discussion. He wondered if he could see something from here. After thinking about it, Hajin then immediately activated Eagle Eye, and sure enough, he saw a goblin camp not far from where they were. Seeing the weapons and equipment they wore, Hajin realized they weren't ordinary goblins. They seemed to be an elite unit typically used in military forces. That shouldn't be a problem if Nayun and Rachel work together. After that, he then looked back at them, who were currently arguing. Hajin didn't explain anything to them and suddenly said he would leave first. They were both startled seeing Hajin suddenly run out of the cave where they were. Nayun could only feel annoyed at his sudden action. Even so, Nayun and Rachel stopped arguing and followed him, but, seeing Hajin keep running out of the cave at a constant speed, Nayun then worriedly warned him that there was a steep cliff outside. But, that wasn't a problem for Hajin at all. He then jumped down the cliff, leaving the two of them stunned watching his action. After they finally snapped out of it, they both shouted, calling him. This was a dungeon built for teamwork, so they had to work together, whether they wanted to or not. Seeing Hajin recklessly rushing forward earlier, Nayun told him that as a sharpshooter, he should stay in the back. Hajin didn't argue and said he didn't expect there would be so many of them. After that, Nayun then immediately told him to retreat. Hajin didn't argue with her and followed her order, but what Nayun and Rachel didn't know was, his recklessness was part of his plan. It was going very smoothly as he planned. After thinking about it, Hajin then retreated and jumped onto a tree. He sat there alertly while watching Nayun and Rachel slaughter the goblins. He realized that Nayun and Rachel didn't get along well, so he made that plan to bring them together. Even so, he didn't expect Nayun and Rachel to work together better than he thought. Setting everything aside, when it came to fighting, they were a good team, but this made Hajin wonder if they even needed his help. But he realized this was a team exam, so he had to contribute, and while Hajin was thinking about it while watching their fight from the tree, he then saw something suspicious. It was a goblin with the staff in its hand. Unlike the other goblins, this one stood in the back acting strangely as if casting a spell. Seeing that, Hajin immediately realized it was their leader. Hajin didn't waste any more time and immediately used the recognition skill. He got a 40% boost, which he felt wasn't bad, but, just as Hajin was about to aim at the goblin leader, he suddenly heard a shout calling Nayun. The shout startled him and immediately shifted his attention. It turned out a goblin had slipped through and appeared behind Nayun while swinging its large sword at her. Hajin immediately felt anxious seeing that. He realized he had been careless. He then quickly shifted his aim and targeted the goblin attacking Nayun. Fortunately, before the goblin's attack could land, Rachel had already jumped and thrown herself to save her. Hajin also managed to quickly shoot at the goblin. His shot was on target and hit the goblin's forehead. Meanwhile, Nayun and Rachel both fell due to Rachel's panicked action. Nayun complained that it really scared her. Hearing that, Rachel asked if she was okay. Nayun confirmed she was fine, but, as if snapping out of it, they both fell silent while looking into each other's eyes. Nayun then said she didn't need her help and told her to focus on her own fight. She could handle it herself. Hearing that, with a small laugh, Hajin just agreed with her words. He said he was sure she'd be fine without him. Nayun then felt annoyed at his sarcasm. She also blamed him for not providing proper support as a sharpshooter. Hajin just stayed silent and didn't argue, because he himself realized he had been careless earlier. Seeing Hajin just staying quiet, Nayun told them to forget it and urged them to keep moving. Hajin then felt confused seeing that. He wondered why her mood suddenly worsened. After some time passed, they finally managed to slaughter all of the goblins in the camp. Their numbers were so many it felt like it wouldn't end. Hajin even felt that the number of monsters here was more than in a direct mission usually, but, while he was on alert providing support to Rachel and Nayun when needed, he suddenly heard a sound and vibration. Not only him, Nayun and Rachel felt it too, and when the three of them turned to the source of the sound, they then froze in shock. It turned out there was a massive humanoid monster standing right behind them. They were extremely shocked seeing the monster. Nayun couldn't even believe it. Seeing their shock, Hajin then asked them to stay calm and do what they always did, and they'd be fine. He would provide support from the back. He told them to attack immediately. Hearing that, Nayun confusedly asked Hajin, who was now on a tree, if a pistol would still work against a creature like that. Hajin didn't answer her question definitively and only said they had to make it work. Somehow, Hajin paused and looked at her. He said, "With you here, what's there to worry about?" Hajin inwardly admitted that he was indeed being carried right now. Nayun's face lit up and her heart felt like it was blooming upon hearing his words. Without thinking clearly, she agreed with him. With a happy heart and high spirits, Nayun then immediately moved and urged Rachel to move too. Seeing that, Rachel annoyedly said she was already moving first. Armed with weapons in their hands, they then ran toward the massive monster. But, when Rachel's attack landed on the monster's body, it was as if it hit an iron plate and had no effect. It only provoked the monster, making it attack her back. But Rachel didn't give up. After managing to dodge the monster's counterattack, she attacked it again, but, surprisingly, the monster dodged her attack. Realizing Rachel's position was now full of openings, the monster didn't waste the opportunity and immediately grabbed her body. Seeing Rachel in the monster's grip, Nayun confusedly and anxiously asked what she was doing. Rachel struggled to answer her question because the monster's tight grip made it hard for her to speak. Nayun was speechless seeing that, but, she was then startled by Hajin's shout calling Rachel, and when she turned to the source of the sound, she saw Hajin standing on a cliff not far from there. Hajin anxiously asked them to hold it off for a bit. He then kept running while finding the right position. The monster's size was too large, so a shot from below wouldn't work. Nayun didn't respond and just stayed silent while watching him run along the cliff. As Hajin quickly climbed the cliff to find the perfect shooting position, and with Rachel currently in the monster's grip, Nayun dazedly questioned herself, "What's wrong with me?" But, she then snapped out of her daze when Hajin shouted her name. Hajin asked what she was doing. He told her to focus. Nayun fell silent for a moment hearing that. Without saying anything, she then immediately ran. Hajin was shocked and confused seeing that. Because instead of running toward the monster, Nayun ran in the opposite direction. But Nayun did that for a reason. She wasn't running away, she just wanted to use the tree there as a foothold to jump high. Her jump was so high it surpassed the monster's height. With a determined look and hands tightly gripping the sword's handle, Nayun then channeled her mana into her sword, making it glow like a lightsaber. The light from her sword was so intense it overwhelmed Hajin, who was standing quite far away. After all preparations were complete, Nayun then swung her sword. The slash was so powerful it overwhelmed the monster, making it unable to maintain its grip on Rachel. After launching the attack, while landing on the ground, Nayun then looked at Hajin with an unusual expression. Hajin himself could only feel confused by it. He wondered why she was showing such an expression.